and right into the stretch. Looking back and throws up the middle. Rose is on his way around. Picked up by Otis.
Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the ready or not. How you like me now? I say, here comes the boom, ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Boom, here comes the boom, ready or not. How you like me now?
You don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati.
You are watching live to the best damn Cincinnati sports podcast this side of the Bengal barn. My name is Santori Miles. We got Bengal Dad. That's it.
That's it.
Got a little bit of news.
The way it used to be.
The way it used to be. Big Savage Greg, if you will, has moved on to bigger, better things, I guess. I don't know. He's helping out with Bengals and Brews full time now. That's about 4 shows a week for him. So we want to thank him for everything that he's done for us over the last, year and a half, 2 years, whatever it is. We definitely wouldn't be where we're at without guys like Greg and James. Sad to see both of them go this summer, but it is what it is. Bailey, I swear to God, I will stick your head in a blender and the show will be canceled. I'll do it live. With that being said, we want to thank them for everything and, good luck moving on. Keep doing what you're doing. Greg was always the guy to get all of our guests. So if you ever thought that we were high rolling with, whatever we were doing to get guests, those were typically all Greg. So big thank you to him and keep doing what you're doing, sir.
Okay, so much for the sappy shit.
Yep.
They fired us. We're moving on.
Sports ball.
We're back to our roots.
What's first on the agenda?
I think we need to talk about Reese Hines.
Okay.
I think that's the biggest splash of the last 24 hours. Hopefully it's not his only splash.
We'll find out in about an hour.
Yeah, we will. It happens a lot. People figure it out pretty darn quick at Major League Baseball. But we'll see. I do like his swing. I like his aggression. I like guys that swing hard and actually want to be up to the plate, not like Stuart Fairchild. I like guys that are up there to hit and drive the ball, and I like that. He's up there to hit and drive the ball. That's what I like.
My boy Stu just took some strays.
Stu has sucked for he began the tailspin. When that jackal forgot how many outs there were with 2 outs in the 9th inning on that flare to center field, everything spiraled to shit right after that. Good job, Stu. Count to 3. See if you can handle that.
Man, brutal.
I'm back, baby.
No, I had sent you a graphic that's kind of floating around on Twitter of a bat speed. And number one was Giancarlo Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton.
That guy.
Does
he play anymore?
He does, I think.
Does he? Okay.
At 90.7 miles an hour. So that's your leader in Major League Baseball.
I think it was 80.7.
80.7?
Yeah. He ain't that fast.
Whatever. The last one on the list was Judge, and I think he was 75 or something.
Weak.
They're both top 10 in baseball. And then somewhere right in the middle was newbie Reese Hines.
How about that?
With all these guys, they're just notorious sluggers. Their bat speed. That's obviously just one metric, but
he swings so fast his helmet falls off all the time.
He does. And the last time I saw a guy do that was Carlos Gomez for the Brewers, and I used to make fun of him for it.
Yeah.
But
remember that.
Reese Hines looks a little bit more under control when he's swinging.
Reese Hines looks like Yasiel Puig. That's who he reminds me of. And that ain't bad.
No,
I don't know what he did in the locker room, but besides that,
I was gonna say, as long as he's Puig from about the jawline down, you're in great shape. Because Puig from the neck up was not the best. You got a friend.
I have a friend.
So,
all right, what else we got? We got Hunter Green recently in this afternoon got named as an alternate to the All-Star game. That's justly deserved. He's pitching really well right now.
Yep. So if you follow WAR, the wins above replacement,
Yeah, don't worry about this sabermetric stuff.
well, I like WAR. I there's not a whole lot of the metrics I like, but
I like
WAR.
ERA.
Well, his WAR is a lot better than his ERA.
Well, that means he's not as good as his WAR then, or he's not as good if you're looking at WAR. ERA is what it's all about.
Well,
Or I like WHIP. I will say I like that one. But I like to know how a guy pitches with men in scoring position. I really want to know that. That's high stress situations.
I don't know his split for that. I can find
Either.
it.
But if you're not giving up a whole lot of runs and you're still letting people get on base, that means you're getting better at that.
Yeah, he used to, and when I say used to, it was even
Last year.
a month or two ago, seemingly.
Mhm.
He would give up a broken bat or one of those traditional rally starters of an error or whatever, and it snowballed on him. He turned into Andy Dalton. He couldn't do the damage control, and then one thing leads to another, and he was 4 innings, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, and now he's 5 innings, 5 runs, 7 strikeouts. You go, what happened? The
Here,
wheels will just fall off.
I'll
so
compare
fast.
I'll compare a popular local player to Andy Dalton, and people are going to go, "Oh."
Okay.
That would be Ellie De La Cruz. When Andy Dalton started off and he'd throw a pick or get a ball deflected or doesn't throw a first good pass or two, got into his head real quick. Seemingly, when Ellie has a bad first at bat, his night is shot. Conversely, if he has a good first at bat, he has a good game. I think he has a little Andy Dalton thing.
Well, we call that a snowball effect. It's the same thing with receivers that have bad hands. You typically throw them a screen real quick early in the game, get them going, get everything warmed up. If you don't take care of those players immediately, they're kind of lost for the game. There is a bit of that with Ellie, but I think you and I would both agree his talent is far better than anything
Oh, certainly. Certainly.
Andy ever possessed. All right, so I've got some Hunter Green splits here. You wanted to see runners in scoring position?
Yeah, I just want to see what his maybe his opponent's batting average is. Maybe I don't know if they calculate an ERA in that situation or not. I'm not sure what they would do.
They will. Let me see where. Here we go. This is called clutch stats. The first one, 2 outs, runners in scoring position.
How good is he?
So this
I'd like to see
year,
how good he is compared to last year.
well, I'll tell you this year. He has 17 games where he has had that situation. 45 plate appearances, 38 at bats. That tells you he's walked a couple.
He's walked 7 of them.
He's walked 6. I think
Or plucked a couple.
Yeah. Opponent's batting average against in that situation. What would you want it to be?
Oh, I'd probably want it to be obviously as low as possible, but I would definitely want it under league average. So low 2s, high 1s.
How about low ones? Buck
That's even
32.
better. That's even better.
Buck 32.
What was it
On-base
last year?
Now you're asking a lot. Hold on.
If we were prepared for the show, we'd have these stats ready and just flash them on the screen.
You know what? This is the first time we decided that we were going to go an hour earlier. And
we're actually an hour early and a day early. We are 25 hours early.
I know. It's really verklempt me. We'll get into a rhythm here. Don't worry.
Don't spend too much time on that. We don't have a lot of time.
I'm getting ready to pull it up here. All right. So you wanted last year clutch stats. It's 100 points lower than it was last year.
Well, there you go. He's getting better.
But the on-base percentage this year is, I want to make sure I get that number right, 267. Last year it was 364, which is really bad to really good.
What's going on? He's not trying to strike everybody out. Therefore, he's not walking as many people. He's not predictable when he gets to be behind in the count. He's pitching a lot better. He's becoming more of a pitcher. This is what we wanted to see.
Here's the really, really good one, and this shows you that he relaxes when he's supposed to. Late and close, I guess that is it's seventh inning or later and within a run, one way or the other. Opponents are hitting 222 off of them.
A little bit below league average.
Yep. Tie game, they're hitting 222. Within one run, they're hitting 202. Within 2 runs, they're hitting 203. Within 3 runs, they're hitting 211. And if he's got a lead of 4 or more, one way or the other, or if he's losing by 4, one or the other, the opponents are hitting 095 off of him.
That's because he really loosens up at that point.
Yep, they have a stat called high leverage situation. I don't know how that's necessarily calculated, but in those situations, he has 18 strikeouts to 6 walks, and opponents are hitting 206. And I'm looking at his ERA per inning. It's about the same across the board. Not a whole lot of fluctuation there.
Okay, enough about Hunter Green.
Point being, he's pitching well, and he's pitching well in multiple areas.
Yep, he's been rewarded. Congratulations.
Yay.
Yay. Now come on the show.
Let's do it, Hunter.
Yeah, come on.
I didn't call you a bust 6 months ago. Let's do it.
I'll wear a black hat with a B on it. Did not know what it means. Stands for baseball. One last thing about the Reds. Kind of want your opinion on this. We're at that time. Are they buyers or sellers?
No.
Great answer.
I don't trust them enough to be buyers, but I don't think they need to be selling pieces off either. I think this is one of those situations where you truly just kind of you see how the market develops. If there's a piece to add, great. I'm not overpaying. I'm not giving up my farm system. There's nothing that I see in front of me over the next 6 months that tells me that I need to cash in or cash out. I'm always for adding more pieces. I'm always adding for more young pieces. I guess that would mean a guy like Candelario I would be considering moving. Just to see if I could get a couple young players out of it. But there's no one on this team I'm really wanting to get rid of. And the guys that I want to get rid of aren't going to yield anything. So it's not like I've got money that I have to move or money that I have to clear up. They're kind of in a situation where they can really do nothing and it not, I'd be okay with it, if that makes sense.
I would my needle is far over to the sell side. There are some players that they could move. They could move Candelario. They could probably move Martinez. There might be a couple lesser or guys that are probably coming up on their 4th year, maybe 3rd or 4th year. That Indy is a very interesting one. Right now, he's playing well, so everybody loves him again. But these are the times that if you're going to get anything for a player, I remember talking about this years and years ago. We had plenty of players we would talk about, and they would just never do anything with them, and they wound up getting a bag of baseballs for him 6 months down the road instead of being able to leverage them. This team isn't going anywhere. This team doesn't have the emotional, mental makeup to do anything productive. They can win games when the crowds are small in the stadium. They can win games when they've lost 3 or 4 in a row and everybody's down on them. But when they go on a run and they start closing the gap and they get close to, oh my God, 500, like that means something, their sphincter gets tight and they don't produce, they don't perform, they don't hit at all. So they need a couple veteran players. Obviously, Candelario is a veteran, but it's not going to help them right now. They need to align themselves with 2 or 3 veteran players. Maybe you keep him and put a couple more on the team next year, but they're not going to go anywhere with all these young guys that get tied up in knots, and that is what they do. They do get tied up in knots. So they got to have a couple, the old Scott Rowlands on the team.
Well, you know how you got Scott Rowland. You got rid of Edwin.
Yeah.
So would you get rid of, say, a CES for an aging veteran?
There's probably hardly anybody on the team I wouldn't get rid of now. We saw them at the height of what they were going to do last year, and we haven't seen much out of anybody since. I mean, people are gooing over Friedel when he's back, but what's he hitting, 210? CES isn't hitting. Marte's had one game, and he can't – I mean, he's fielding hand grenades over there at third base. He's scared to death, and then when he throws it, he's got the Steve Sachs disease. He can't throw the ball straight. Why do you need players like that? If you're a good player, that stuff doesn't happen to you more than maybe once in a while. Every ground ball to Marte, you can see it. When he throws the ball, he's like aiming it. He throws it like 2/3 speed, or he's doing like a 1 or 2 curl hops, like trying to get confidence before he throws it. Those aren't players that are going to win you championships. You got to find players that you can surround yourself. Ellie has matured a ton. I've seen he's made a big leap in my opinion.
In the last 45
year one to
days,
year two. His defense is phenomenal.
Well, in the last 45 days, he's made a huge jump.
Yeah, he was horrible even at the beginning of the year. He was horrible on defense. I don't know if he's taking it more serious now. He seems like the kind of guy that when he puts his mind to it, there's probably nothing he really can't do. He seems like he's one of those people. So, I mean, he's the kind of guy you hook your wagon on. I would probably extend him right now if they could make that work the way they did Hunter Green. I think the pitching staff extension should be him, possibly Lodolo, possibly Abbott. Abbott probably more than Lodolo because Lodolo is very injury prone. But they need to hook their wagon to a few core pieces and just build around it. They got too much youth.
Walter. Sorry. Yeah, there's we've talked about it endlessly on the phone. There's too much inexperience. You need to have a blend. The way you win championships in baseball is one of two ways. You have a blend of veterans and young talent, and the veterans always kind of smooth things over when it gets to big games. Or you buy yourself a ring. The Reds can't do that. So, what's the alternative? It's a mix, and they have more than enough young talent. They probably need to start trading some guys. I'm not saying right now at the deadline. I mean, if the right thing comes to fruition, sure, but I don't want to package multiple young guys together unless I'm getting, someone like a Juan Soto. Like I better get something that really, really, really moves the needle.
I would just like to replace some of these young guys with players that are established, that are not superstars, but they're Rich Aurelias. They're professional hitters that aren't going to strike out 1.5 times every game, that aren't going to stop rallies, that aren't going to know that the best thing to do at this point, Stevenson, when you have a man at third with one out, and how do you hit the ball best? You hit it to right field. Don't try to pull the ball and hit it one hopper to third. Situational ball players, smart ball players. That's what the Reds need to replace some of these kids with. All these kids are not going to pan out long term. Some of them will. You just hope you choose the right one. I certainly would choose Ellie De La Cruz. I think Matt McLean, possibly, but I need a bigger sample size. CES disappointed me this year, but maybe he was hurt the majority of the year.
I think he was.
Marte, yeah, he's coming off the 80-game suspension, but that's already a black mark on me at this point.
Yeah, I mean, once they said that, what was the first thing I said to you? Is he going to be good when he comes back?
Yeah, because most of the guys aren't.
No. Well,
and it shouldn't affect his defense, but I'll tell you what, his hitting is atrocious right now. He's bailing out on every pitch. Anything middle away, he can't hit. He foul tips it, fouls it away, or swings through it. He's not the same player as he was last year. I thought he was the best hitter on the team last year.
There's an argument for it, for sure.
And I don't think steroids affects how you stand at the plate.
Nope. He's in his own head right now.
Oh, yeah. And that's the problem. They have so many guys that get that way.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's move on.
Joey B made some news.
Joey B made news. Anytime he opens his mouth, he makes news.
He's starting to open his mouth a lot more.
Yeah, he is. And that's okay because I don't think what he's saying is wrong. And again, this thing about the 18-game schedule, it wasn't him that said, I want the 18-game schedule.
No, someone asked him.
And he said, how many? He said, okay. I think he was asked, what do you think about bye weeks or the upcoming schedules or this or that, or they maybe expanding the schedule, I think they asked. And all he said was, how many games? He said 18. Okay, here's how you do 18. You get 2 bye weeks. And, it allows the people that are hurt maybe throughout the course of the season to get that extra bye week. If you make the second bye week around week 13, and you get maybe 6 games back with that person because people want to see the better players going down the stretch drive. And people jump on him on Twitter like he's advocating an 18-game schedule. They could have said 20, and he probably would have answered the question similarly. That tells me Joe Burrow's not afraid to play extra games of football either. The people that don't want to play extra games, you wonder if they even want to make the postseason.
So here, if as Crypt is in the chat right now, if he wants a cutthroat Miles moment, sure. I'll give you one. The guy that really, really jumped Burrow on Twitter was Chase Daniel.
What did he ever do?
I was going to say, what?
He was a lifetime backup quarterback, right?
He threw like 8 passes in 15 years. Who gives a flying fuck what Chase Daniels has to say? All he was ever good enough to be was a backup in every Andy Reid system ever.
Yeah.
Which is a system that you don't have to be very good at quarterback to win football games, mind you. Everybody that's ever played under Andy Reid has won a lot of football games. First and foremost, Joe did not say, I want 18 games. We need 18 games. This is how we're going to do it. They asked him, if you're going to have 18 games, how would you do it? And Joe answered the question point blank. This is how I do it. And quite frankly, to end the season right before President's Day and nobody ever have to call off the day after the Super Bowl again and getting an extra bye week seems like one of the smartest things that's come out of any NFL's player's mouth in the last 20 years. And then Chase Daniels, who obviously did not read, watch, or pay attention to anything, reading that scenario about as well as he could read a defense, not good, decides to jump Joe Burrow. Oh, the NFLPA is not going to like this. Players aren't going to like this. Why wouldn't players like it?
They're going to make more money.
You get more money. They're not going to tell you, no, you're playing 18 games for the same amount of money. No. All they're going to do is they're going to expand the salary cap. It's another week of football, which means another week of TV. Let's see who's following along here. Another week of commercials. That's how it works. It's more revenue. If you were someone that was mad that you're making 20 instead of 24, well, guess what that extra week does for you, buddy? It gives you that opportunity.
Yeah, before the
you play a damn game for a living, and you're my god.
Well, before the TV contracts were so god awfully high, it would have affected the owners because the owners actually like the preseason games because they didn't have to share their revenue.
That's the other
now,
thing.
The revenue that they're generating from those games, though, is nothing compared to what's going on with the TV rights. Okay. Stay down.
We're both having dog issues right now.
Here we are.
I
We got 5 minutes.
I just don't understand why anybody gives a damn what Chase Daniels has to say. When Joe Burrow was on an interview for one of his merchandising branding situations. I'm not here for it. All Chase Daniels did was look like somebody who doesn't want to play football, which is basically what he did for 20 years. Someone who didn't play.
We have dog problems here.
My dogs sound like birds, though. That's the weird thing. They tweet.
They're bird dogs.
They tweet.
Yeah, they tweet. What else we got? Training
You had
camp's
the-
around the corner.
Yeah. What? How many months, days? What is it?
I don't know. We're like 60 days away from the game, from the opener.
Oh, thank God.
What is it, on the 8th of September? Today's the 9th of July. You got 231-day months. We get 61 days.
That's the Thursday night game, right?
No. That's our game.
Is it?
Hmm?
Was the Thursday night game the 5th then?
I think so.
Man, I'm so out of it. If this is the first time watching this show, they're like, who's this fat dumbass? Doesn't know any of his numbers. Just yelling at Chase Daniel. Oh, my God.
It's going to be a good year this year.
I think so, too. I'm not one of those people that typically believes in fate and destiny, but there's a lot of things lining up the Bengals to be in New Orleans. There's a lot of things lining up. And I'm just happy to watch it.
Nope.
Is that it? Are we going to go?
It's about that time. Yeah, I got things to do. I got to roll.
Before,
I got to work on our new studio.
Yeah. Did you like the idea I sent you? Did you even read it?
Which idea?
Ashley's home.
Yeah, Ashley. Which idea?
Where I said we film in the barn when it's done.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Can we get Can we get a barn update? Where are we at with that?
We're nowhere. I'm trying to get an approval right now from the township. I got a meeting in 30 minutes with the township.
Okay. Well.
The earliest this barn is even going to begin to be constructed or added onto will be probably about 3 or 4 weeks from now. So we're not making it for the season. Probably not making it for the Super Bowl. It's going to be one spectacular barn, though.
Well, we'll film there, and then I won't have to say this side of wherever. I'll just say from the Bengal barn.
From the Bengal barn.
And maybe we'll have a bus to go along with it because I'm very, very confident that I'm down between a couple types of vehicles. And I've promised a Disney trip to my wife first. So if I come home with a bus before I take her to Disney, I don't think she's going to be thrilled.
You're going to be under the bus.
Well, here's the thing. The bus, but before any money goes into it, just getting the bus is going to be anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. That's kind of where everything's lining up. If I go to Disney World, $3,000 to $5,000 shorter than I would have been, and I can't get my wife her Mickey ears. It's a lot of Mickey ears. I'm going to be in trouble.
Yep. All right. Well, I got to roll. I can't be late to this meeting.
Just text me a thumbs up if you get the barn approved.
There's more approvals in this one, but I'll say it.
Oh my God, the last one's a formality.
Yeah. All right. I got to go.
All right.
Good initial 2-person show again. Who Day, 61 days away. We'll see if Reese Hines can hit the ball tonight or if he strikes out 7 times.
I'm going to give him the 3 strikeouts and a ground ball to short tonight.
Okay. That'll be just like it.
We got sponsors.
Yes, we do. I'll let you handle the sponsors. I do have to roll.
Go ahead and roll. I'll hit the sponsors.
All right.
Oh, you're gonna blow my face up really big here. I can tell.
Well, I'm trying to get rid of myself here. I'm out.
I don't like this. Everything's big. It's scary. I'm fat. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to change for. There we go. We'll stay in the corner. There. That makes me feel a lot better. Sponsors. We do have 3 sponsors for the show. Script Coffee. I don't have a long blurb of starting your story your way, but go get some. It's good stuff. Midwest Best Barbecue. Down off Ward's Corner Road in Lebanon. I believe they're on Justice, or not Lebanon, Loveland. I believe they're on Justice in particular. Some of the best barbecue in town. You got to go check them out. They're Bengal fans. They've done a lot for us. They'll do a lot for you. And Birmingham Meadery, the real OG, the sponsor that's been with us the longest. Use our code HOODAY9 to get 15% off shipping. 15% off 2 bottles or more. That basically covers the cost of shipping. They'll ship to most places in the United States. They've got a great product, and it's hot outside. Go get you some. With that being said, thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching. We are going to be changing the format of the show just a little bit as half of my cast members have quit. Greg and James, love you both. But we got some exciting things that Bengal Dad and I are going to be throwing your way. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to Greg and James in particular. Good night.
And right into the stretch. Looking back and throws up